Revell, here we are. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, welcome to working on this guy right here, chapter 2, working on the Hot Rod Custom Model A pickup truck. We'll wait for the airplane to take off and we'll run my intro and we'll get started, okay? So, we have not really much done from last time, right? We got basically the front axle assembled, even though I got my brake backing plates, you know, I had them backwards last time. I got that fixed and now they're on there properly. Yeah, so we're basically just going to continue on that. You can see that I've taken a few more parts off of the sprue already and cleaned up the little bits on them that are going to have the glue on them, just in preparation for today. I want to get the rear axle assembled, and I want to get started on the engine. Even though I'm not using the engine out of the kit, I'm still going to assemble it and show you guys what it would look like if I was using it. Okay, so I'll change the camera here and we'll just get right into this. Okay, all right, so we got this no, we didn't get that part. We got this part put together. This is the stock version. But up here, we've got our two things there, but we've got to put this guy here. We've got to put our, they call them steering arms. We've got to put those on. Those are next. That's these two little guys here. Okay. Now, like I said, I've already scraped off some of the chrome in here where it's going to contact in there. I even went in the hole there a little bit with my X-Acto knife, just kind of scraped around in a little hole, just a little bit. Not really a lot, but a little bit anyway. It's kind of funny. So this is what we got done already, so we're moving down to here. These are lefts and rights, so this one I've got in my hand, that's going to go on this side here. I'm going to get my glues ready, my three glues that I use. Let's see, let's get that cracked just a little. This one's going to need some. So it's going to go in that little spot here with these two little holes on our brake disc. I don't know, it's not a disc. I think this is just the backing plate of a drum brake. Although there doesn't seem to be any brake detail in this kit. There are a couple of things about this kit that it seems like they've kind of cheaped out on as far as detail, and other things that they did really well on. See, they should have had me put these on the discs before putting them on here, because now this is a little difficult to do, right? That would have been easier to put on before having it all assembled. So I'm just going to make sure that I've got it lined up, and I don't. There we go. Okay, now that I've moved it around a little bit, I'm going to put some of my extra thin in there. So that's how that goes. So we'll grab our other one. Actually, before that, I'm going to change my glasses. I'm going to change my glasses here. Okay, so this guy, put some glue on him. And he goes in here. Like that. Just going to use this to get in there and kind of squeeze it together nice. There we go. Okay. So that's those two pieces. Then we have our crossbar arm, or I guess you could say the drag link that goes from here to here, which is this guy goes all the way across. So again, I've already taken off the chrome off of our little pins that are going to go through those holes. So we'll glue these. I guess I got my angles pretty good because this went in. It went in our holes exactly the way it's supposed to, and lined up. So, yay! That tells me I had my discs lined up pretty much perfect. So that's good. So that's that. We have our other steering arms here that we're supposed to, it says not to glue them. So why not glue them? I mean, this is what we call our pitman arm. Well, number 13 is a pitman arm. This is the drag link. This is actually the tie rod. This is the drag link. They don't want this being glued in. So basically, I'm just going to lay this down on here. Doink. I mean, what's the point? This says don't glue it. So if I can't glue it, then there's no point in just laying it down. So I'm just going to leave this aside. Anyway, that would complete our steering. So I'm going to put this whole assembly aside now, and we're going to start on the rear end. So the rear end consists of this center drive shaft piece, and then our housings, bing and bang. Now, one thing I'll tell you guys I've already done. So I went in there and I scraped off the chrome on there and on each side, because this kind of lines up there like this. It just goes like that. Okay. So we put these two halves together, or I guess three halves. There's a little tab on there that you line up so that it all stays together. And locks them in, and there you go. So I'm just going to grab a little clip and do this. Even though I don't really need to. I don't need to. They're going to stay. Now, out of the kit, these two housings are much longer. So what I did is I took a reference, measuring up my rear tires and how they're going to go in here. Obviously that is too wide. That looks stupid. That's not going to look right, sticking out of the fender like that. So I want them tucked in under, which means I'm going to have to get in here with the Dremel, and I'm going to have to cut this out, this whole piece here. Okay, this whole section is going to go bye-bye. That's going to go bye-bye. And I'm still determining if this particular shaft here and here. Oh, hey, yo, how you doing, Cheetah? Still determining whether I'm going to have to cut these bars out or not. Okay, because it's kind of, if I cut the tires right up against that bar, it might tuck in underneath there, it might not. So that I'll have to see once I've got this section carved out of there. Okay, so once I've got this out, then I'll measure that. In the meantime, I took an axle that actually came with these. Okay, this is basically how these are supposed to go. You run your rod through this axle here. This is the axle that these tires are actually from. And then you go like this, and you go like this, and there you have your rear end. And this pretty much is exactly the width that I need. It's extremely close. There may be 1 or 2 millimeters too wide with this, but that gave me a good indication of how wide this needs to be. So I trimmed off each one of these. Okay, let's pull this out of here. This is just a 2 millimeter rod that comes with the kit. This is actually out of a 60, I think it's a 67 Nova. So the holes that were in here were too small, so I drilled these out to 2 millimeters, and bingo, now this fits through. And I've got it just about the same. It might be just a hair narrower. And get this on here like this. And we'll just do a little test. Yeah, I think I'm still going to have to trim just a little hair more. Do you have any complete models I can see real quick? If you check out, go look at my links down there. Check out my Instagram. I upload still pictures of my Instagram and everything that I do. So you could take a look at those. Yeah, so I think I'll have to do a little more, just trim off maybe a millimeter on each side of this to get it to the length that I need. But I've got to drill that out first, okay? But that I'm not going to do that later. That's not what I'm going to be doing today. So we have this together. We got to move on to this. Now this is the other issue I'm going to have, is these guys have to go on. They're supposed to line up on our little peg right here in the middle, and then go out to the outside of these axles. And now obviously the hole here, because these get wider as they go like this won't fit now. They don't fit in the hole, so that hole has to be drilled out bigger. And then obviously these would have gone out much further, out like this. So I'm going to trim off this here so that I can make the arm a little bit shorter. The other problem is this guy is supposed to go across here like this on into these little holes, like this and like this. Let's get that kind of in this hole. Okay, so you get an idea what this is supposed to do. And then go like this, right? And obviously our leaf spring is way too long. So what I'll have to do is I'll maybe cut it here, and then I'll glue this piece onto the edge so that we have that all together. But like I said, that's got to all go together. That's all based on how wide these are going to be. Okay, so that's what I'm going to have to do for this particular section. Okay, that is something I will have to do later because I want to get started on the engine today. But you get the idea of what you're supposed to do for this, right? Okay, so they show here on the next page. Let me get this folded here. On the next page they show the front tires going on, the rear tires going on. See, they show the rod. Now my kit actually didn't come with the rod. Like I told you last time, this kit was purchased off eBay. It's previously opened, and the rod was not in the box. So I don't have the rod, which is why I'm using the 2mm rod. Yeah, really. I'm using the 2mm rod out of a 66 Nova kit. Asuki, hello, I enjoyed your content and I was really impressed. I'd love to connect with you and know your streaming schedule. Can you add me up on Discord? Kibi. Well, I'll take a look. I don't really do Discord myself, but you could send me a DM on my Instagram if you wanted to. Links are down in my my stuff below. You could send me a DM on there if you like. Also on my on X, you could go on my X, or Twitter, whatever it was called before. You can do that there. Anyway, so we're going to look at the engine. This is our engine here. Of course, we have 3 different versions of the engine that you could do. Of course, I was going to do the custom early drag version, but we've got the stock. They say here that the C version was used on the box art, which is this here, which looks like they went with the dual carbs and not this drag race exhaust on here. But anyway, we're going to build up the engine. For the most part anyway, not all of it, because things like the shifters and stuff like that I'm going to use, but yeah. Okay, let's find our engine parts. I already have one piece of the transmission here that fell out. It wasn't really held on the sprue very well. So let's dig through our parts here. I think most of my engine parts are on that sprue. This looks like the intake manifold. That's all for the sprue. We'll go with these for now, and we'll see what we get. Looks like we got 2 halves of the engine block. There isn't even a number on this one, but that looks like a half of an engine block. Which actually, looking at this now, where's the other half of the engine block? I might not even have a complete engine here, guys. I'm looking for 19 and 20. This looks like a cylinder head. Let's see here. They neglected to put a number on this piece. It looks like a cylinder head, although I think I saw a chrome one also. Number 28 looks like a water pump. Yeah, we need that. I need 29, whatever this thing is. This little guy right here. And we need our oil pan, which was sitting loose in the box. That's that. We're going to need number 22. Again, this was in the box. We need 23. Which is this guy here. It looks like maybe an oil filter of some sort. I would like to try and find 19 and 20, because unless it's sitting in the box and I just missed it. I'll take a look in a minute here. The other half of our transmission. Okay, well, so we'll do that for now. Let me take a look in the box. Do I have the other half of the engine block in here? I would like to find it. Hopefully I have it. I do not seem to have the other half of the engine block. It's definitely not on that sprue. I do not have the other half of the engine block. That is unfortunate. Which makes me even more happy that I'm not trying to build the engine out of the kit. Because I literally don't have half of it. So, yeah, that's great. Now, again, this reiterates my warning of buying kits on eBay, because you never know if you're actually going to get the whole thing. Unless it says that it's sealed, you really don't know. So, I literally don't have the other half of this engine block. So, we're just going to kind of wing it and try and do this. This is this side here. So we take our oil pan and it goes here. Do I have this the right way around? I believe I do. It's funny, I got some nasty flash going on there. No wonder she don't want to fit. Just a terrible molding. This little piece here kind of is going whoop like this. So let's shave that down, make it a little bit more presentable. Get our oil pan lined up on there. To get the oil pan on right, I have to shave this tab off. Unless this is supposed to go like this, but I don't think so. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because this ain't going in the kit, and it ain't going in, so I'm just putting it on here for just because. Alright. And that's how it sits. Okay. Oil pan is on. And then we have our water pump. It's supposed to go on that side there. So they show it in this orientation. And going like this. Okay, so a little bit of glue on here. Only half of it, so because, well, we only have half of an engine we're working with here. There we go. My oil pan wants to come off again. Because technically it's only held on by a little bit, so. It's not really held on by very much at the back. But anyway, there's our water pump. I'm guessing that's a water pump. Number 28. It's actually the timing gear case. It's kind of neat that they show you a little list of the descriptions of the parts. And then we have 29. 29, they show how it's supposed to go here on the top. I have to trim off our screw. I'm just going to do this. No, I'm not. Whoops. There we go. This guy is supposed to go on our engine block into that little spot right there. So which side does that go? It looks like that little slot right there like this, but it doesn't seem to, the way they show it in the picture, it doesn't seem to want to fit. See, it's got this little bit of a tab that sticks out this direction. They show that facing away from the block, which means the flat side should go against the block. But then they've got a little hole here for it to sit into which suggests you don't put the flat side to the block. In the grand scheme of things, since I'm not using this engine, it doesn't really matter. So, yeah. So there we go. It's on there now. Okay. So that's that. That is this little section here done. So we'll take a couple of things that are a little more important because I am actually using them, and that is the transmission. We got our transmission halves here, and an ugly looking nub that I need to clean up. I don't know if that's a nub or if that's a detail. Seeing as there's an exact spot. See, our two halves don't really want to go together. Just going to make sure I've got no burrs or anything in there that are stopping these halves from going together. Other than the locator pins, of course. Sometimes, especially on these Revell kits, locator pins, you know, they mean well, but then sometimes locator pins really, they don't locate it properly. You get the pins lined up and they go together, but then your actual piece is not lined up. So these go together like this. Let's put some glue on them so that they're happy and will stay together. I was reading something about the Model 8 truck, pickup trucks. I believe it was 1927 when these things came out. And if that's what this is supposed to represent, as the original transmission, that's pretty crazy. Okay, then we have this piece, which is supposed to, looks like the transmission actually goes inside of this, like that. Okay. So I wonder if that's supposed to be an old bell housing. An old school 1920s bell housing. Possibly. Okay, so there's that, and then we have this number 23. What is 23? That's a starter. Starter at the... Starter goes up here. Okay. Number 23. That is not this piece. Where is 23? Is that on here? That's 39. So I need to find number 23. Or maybe that is it. I already grabbed this. What am I doing? This is our starter. That's a huge starter. And that goes on this side over here. So what I'm going to do is, it's got like this little point here. It looks like a provision for a bolt, and so I'm just going to line up one of the little tabs on the starter here, one of these three. I'll line that up with that. Clean off this little nub first. I might wind up not using the starter. I think it's too big, because ultimately what I did was the engine I'm actually using for this guy, this is the engine I'm actually using, okay? I went and cut the transmission off of this, okay? I went in there with the saw and I cut off this transmission, doink, okay? So that I could put this transmission on, just like this. But as you can see, our little plate here doesn't fit. It won't work with that starter. Now I could trim this plate away, which is definitely something I could do. I also think I want to clean up this plate here. Just file this down so it's a little thinner, because as you can see, I've got the thickness of the plate and then I've got detail going all around here, and I would like to just trim that off just that much more before I actually get around to putting this on there. This goes like this, because our little button there for the starter doesn't quite line up. The whole thing is just so small. This engine is so much bigger than what they ever intended this to be used with. So alternatively, if I get this so that it's flush up against there, I could just mount the starter here on the side, like so. Just put it there. As long as it's flush, then it'll look realistic. In any case, that's that. So I'm not going to put the starter on just yet. I'll leave it off to the side. That's the transmission. Now the transmission would line up against here. You've got this little tab that would go into this little slot here, and it would go like this, and this is what you'd be looking at. The transmission was almost as big as the engine, or at least half of it anyway. That's how it would go, okay, like this, okay, bing. So, still working with the transmission. We've got some shifter stuff to do. We've got a transmission cover, the emergency brake, and the shift lever. So number 26, I need the transmission cover. Let's see if that's on this sprue. Kind of looking for something that looks like that, and I'm not seeing it on here. So let's go looking. Let's go hunting, looking for number 26. Transmission cover. Definitely, no, I don't think so. Nope, that's just seats. Maybe on this one. You know, what would help is if they actually had the numbers engraved on the sprues properly, but they don't. It's not on this sprue. So now I've got to try and determine if it actually is in the box. I don't think this is it. Nope. Definitely not it. Okay, so it's not in the box. It's not on that sprue. This might be, just might be, another part that's missing. Don't need that roof. So I'll try to determine on where it's 69, 66, 91, 74, 81, 73. Okay, nope, not on there. I can tell just by looking. We've got the bench seat, the seat belt, the firewall, the hood, two-piece hood. That's that. I'm looking for number 26, right? 26. 11, 24, 25, 0, 30, 39, 5A, 36, 28, 38, 26 right here. This guy right here. Found him. I found him. Yay. He just has this great big piece of flash on here, an ejector pin. I did not recognize it, as it did not look anything like the picture because of that flash on there. But here he is. Okay, so he's going to go. In which direction does he sit? It looks like he sits like this. No. We'll have to see. Is there a certain way he fit in here and a way that he doesn't? Oh yeah. It's a tight fit, but he fits. So it does only go in one way, and this big knob here doesn't really help much. So bye-bye knob. That ought to help a little bit. Let's put some glue on him. He does only go in one way, so that's not too hard to figure out. There he goes. He's in his new home. There we go. Okay. Shifter's in, or at least the base anyway. And we got to grab 64 and 27. Those are both off the chrome. 64 and 27. That's these two guys here. This is 64. That looks like a shifter rod. Yeah, shift lever. And then 27 is our emergency brake. Of course, these are always very delicate, so you need to be careful. Okay, there's our shifter and our emergency brake. Okay, now obviously our shifter goes right in the top of it, so I've got to get the chrome off of this little tab here. So let's give it a little bit of scraping. I feel like so many of those guys who strip all the chrome off their parts, you wouldn't have to do this. I actually like the chrome on the kits. I don't think it looks toyish. I think it looks realistic. When you go out to a brand new car and it's got chrome on it, especially cars from, you know, the 60s and or 50s that had these big chrome bumpers and stuff. Well, the chrome was like mirror. And that's the way it was. And they were proud of that. And so, real chrome looks like mirror. And the kit chrome, it looks like a mirror. So I don't know why, guys. So many guys have the opinion that kit chrome looks like a toy and not realistic. To me, it looks real. Okay, so I want to get this kind of lined up straight. That is a long shifter rod, I tell you what. That's a pretty long shifter. But that was the late 20s, I guess. Now this guy, he's going to go down onto this little section here. And it's actually onto this little half circle piece is where he wants to be put. They have it kind of carved out here, the top of the half circle. So that's where this chrome is going bye-bye. I would be happier if it actually had a hole and a hole to slot into or something, but they have chosen to not do it that way. It just kind of sits kind of on the side here, like this. So kind of the whole side of this lever is where I'm gonna get rid of the chrome and hope she's gonna stay. Put some glue on there. And then put her on there. And this is just kind of where he's gonna live. It's kind of like right there. Kind of like that. Okay. There we go. Now I am going to paint this whole thing aluminum, so it's not really going to be that much different when it's all done. So, put that there. That concludes the transmission. Now, like I said, we got a cylinder head or a valve cover. I don't know what that is. Could be both. But I also have one in chrome. And then I have what looks like an intake manifold. And I don't know if this is supposed to go on this or not. Looks like it's supposed to. I could be totally wrong though. I could be totally wrong. Let's put our transmission over here and we'll take a look. Next page. Yeah, so we're supposed to put number 32, our cylinder head, on top of the engine, right here, and that would be going this way like this. There's the cylinder head on the top of the engine. And we put number 33, which is a distributor. Distributor right in the middle of the cylinder head. That's funny. I'm not going to bother with that. Oh, that's what that piece is. We've got, where did it go now? I thought I took it off the sprue. Number 30 is our side valve cover. Side valve cover, what the heck? It's not that, number 30. It's going to be this. Yeah. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to put this piece on. because it goes onto the side of the block that I do not have. It's supposed to go right here. Let's flip this around. It's supposed to go right here. But of course I'm missing that part of the block, so I got nothing to actually glue it to except maybe the one strip across the oil pan. There, that's about as close as I could get to actually putting this on. And I actually got it on backwards because there's a hole here that's this hole is supposed to be on this side. But that's kind of irrelevant. I'm supposed to put the oil return pipe on there and run it over to the front of the block here, right? From this hole to this hole here at the side of the block. It's irrelevant. And then of course we have our intake and exhaust manifold and carburetor. Oh, that's what that funny piece is. That's the carburetor. That's supposed to go here on the side of this, again on the side of the block that I do not have. It's supposed to go in up here, which I can't do because I don't have it. Also on the front we have our fan belt and our water pump. Which is the water pump? 36. Here's our water pump sticking out the front. Which again, just all these little things. And a 2-blade engine fan, cooling fan. And then of course if we're doing the custom we could use the chrome one, or the chrome side valve cover instead of the red one. They show it almost a little bit different. Basically, chrome valve covers, chrome cylinder head. Yeah, if you're doing the custom engine, okay, which would be this guy instead of the red one. Otherwise, the same. There's a chrome cover, which I'm pretty sure I took off the sprue earlier, and now I've misplaced it. It's probably lying on the floor somewhere. Yeah, which is this actually the other side of the block? This piece I keep on saying I don't have? So I've been saying all along that I don't have the other side of the block, and here I've had it all along. Because I'm that dumb. I just happened to be that dumb that I didn't recognize this flat piece is actually the other side of the engine block. Which means I can actually put these parts on . How about that, eh? How about that? And, well, that being said, why not put some chrome? Why not use some chrome parts then? Let's put our chrome cylinder head on there. Since we're going all out, We're actually assembling this thing now. Let's give it a little bit of bling. I will say the fit on this is really does leave something to be desired. Nothing is really fitting precisely. I've got a big gap in my water pump there. The cylinder head doesn't want to stay straight. Yeah, there's a big gap in the oil pan. The hole at the back here for the transmission is ridiculous. Okay, I get it. It's going to be covered by the transmission, but I mean, yeah. Okay, so there's that. Let's have a look at our other stuff. Number 33, their distributor. Most ridiculous distributor in the world. I'm going to use the chrome one, C5. If I can find it on here. I can almost guarantee it doesn't look like the picture. In the picture it looks like a modern distributor. Here's our chrome valve cover, which I thought I took off the sprue, but it's not. It says Anson, so they actually got some detail on that that looks nice. But I'm looking for C5. I found C7, C5 right there. Okay, there we go. So, this guy's got to get the chrome taken off. Now, if you don't want to spend the time taking off the chrome, you can always use CA glue, aka crazy glue. You can always use crazy glue to glue your chrome parts, and the crazy glue will glue it. But if you're like me and you don't really want to use crazy glue or CA glue, then you have to get rid of the chrome. This does little half circles so that it'll go in this little slot here only one way. Just like that. So now I know this is a 4-cylinder engine. I can tell by the 4 spark plug leads on the distributor. Let's have a look at their front stuff. Number 36 and 39, which I think are going to be on here. This is 39. .36 is our water pump, which is right here. And I need the fan belt. Right there. And the fan, number 38. A 2-bladed cooling fan. Obviously didn't need a lot of cooling. This is our funny little water pump, which is going to go into that hole there like this, but I've got some flash on the chrome, so that's going to have to be cleaned up a little bit here. Water pump goes into this hole. supposed to go into that hole. Doesn't really want to. There we go. Again, not exactly a precise fit, but I suppose it does the job. Then we have our fan belt, which goes like this, and number 39, which happens to be our generator. Generator, wow. That really is old school. Generator instead of alternator. So every modern car has an alternator now. This fan belt is going to go like that, so our generator goes onto this particular tab here, and is a little too big for the slot. Just making sure I do have it the right way. It looks like I do, but yeah, I'm going to get rid of this big knob here. Okay. Now I'm not sure exactly where that's supposed to line up there. And I've got flashing there. I'm not sure where the bottom pulley goes exactly. So I'm going to line it up with the water pump. Okay. My water pump isn't quite lined up. There we go. Let's do that. And get in here. Not the most precise fit. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter, does it? Then our fan blade just kind of goes on the front, right there. So I'm just going to make sure this is flat. Put a dab of glue on there. Sits like that. Just like that. See our little engine? Yeah. That's that. Okay. Only a couple more things. Number 31 is a little pipe. If I can find it on here. It's supposed to be chrome. This guy here. Okay. We want 34 and 35 are our manifolds. I think this is one of them. I gotta catch it in the right light to see the number. There we go. And then I happen to have 35 in the box here. This is our intake slash carburetor. This gets put into the little slot right here. Like that. It's a little difficult to hold with your fingers and actually have it stay, but that's how it goes. Okay. Just like that. I'll just put that down for now. Our little pipe. Now that I've got the valve cover on properly, our pipe is going to go from here to here. Just trying to determine which way they want it to go. I believe it just goes like this. Like that. There we go. We're in the holes. Okay. There's your little pipe that goes on the side. That's the oil return pipe. And then our valve cover, or not our valve covers, our intake and exhaust manifold goes on. So a pin here and a pin here, going to line those up on there and there. Gluing everything together so quickly does make it a bit of a challenge on where I can actually hold the engine. There we go. Okay. And that's our engine, basically. Just like that. Where am I going here? There's our engine. There's not a whole lot to it, but that's it. Now you could detail it up and make it look pretty nice. Put spark plug wires on it. I have no idea where the plugs would go on this engine. I don't even know what engine this is, to be honest. Let's flip the page here and see what would be next. Basically, this is where I'm going to end it for today, but we'll just see. The next step on the engine would be, if we're doing the custom, add different couple of carburetors. That's different, right? We've got carburetors that look totally different. 2 parts chrome. So meanwhile back here we've got the intake manifold and carburetor. But then so we're doing the custom. That's the stock version. This is the stock version. Steps 17 to 20. Doing the custom, we can do 21 to 24. So 24 has those carbs on it. It's a different intake to do it like that. Anyway, that is basically the engine. And that So one of the reasons, you know, I mentioned earlier, I'm not even using this engine, so why did I put it together? Well, one reason was to show you guys how it all assembles. The other reason was I wanted to see, I want to be able to look at how it's actually supposed to sit in the frame of the kit and where it's supposed to be located in here when you actually get to the point of installing the engine and the transmission, how it's all supposed to sit and where it goes onto the frame, to give me an idea of where this guy is going to have to go in order to do that. Because, you know, there are things when you're doing custom stuff like that, I might have to chop out part of the oil pan, I might have to chop out part of the frame. You guys saw, if you watch my video, my series on the 69 Firebird, where I put in that big block engine in it. Yeah, there's custom stuff, a lot of cutting and grinding and shaving and stuff that needs to be done in order to get it to fit in the kit. Right, so yeah, all that other stuff. So off camera, I'm going to be doing a bunch of Dremel work in here, getting rid of these parts. That's going to be off camera, and just getting ready for the next couple of steps. And because I think after doing, it looks like we've got some stuff to do on the frame next in this guy here, and that looks like it's going to be next. But then we're going to be actually putting the engine and the bottom half of the body together, which means this is going to have to be painted. So I've got to get that all ready for the next time. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Thank you for coming out, and thank you for all the support. I invite you to check out the links down below in the description box. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, and yeah, that's where we're going to end it for today, and we'll see you all on the next one.